Okay, so my mic's on. Just wanted to make sure that my mic's on and recording. So I've talked about LoopBack for a while, and I'm still talking about it because it's such a great device to have when it comes to sourcing, routing things without having to be tethered to a DAW. It's really nice on desktop, depending on what programs you use and plugins you have. If you have one that runs as standalone, it can be incredible. So you see I have Ableton, and I've shown this in the past. I can run anything here all through a channel simultaneously, either record into the SP or view it on the external source, however I want to do. I'm even recording them with the microphone. You can see my volume level clicking right now. The iPad can work in there. You can use Koala in if you wanted to record in some stuff. Just anything. I have Pigments open there. I have the SP set there. I have Spotify. All that can run through and be recorded. So you'll see I have it set up on various recording sources. But one of the cool things now, this is in the Mac version. I checked on the iPad and the iOS version, and I do not see this feature, though it does connect to whatever audio source you have. For some reason, when I open it under settings, I don't see an input output. And I don't know if that's just because I don't have a sound source hooked to it. I'm not sure. But either way, various sources recording is right there. I can use any of these devices to record input. So I'm going to click this one. It says it's disabled, but it's not. I'm using my headphones as external output because if I pick this one, then it would probably bleed into the mic. I'm going to close it one time just to make sure we don't have any issues. Reopen it. You see it's connected to my SP. All right, and I am going to go back into settings, show you the audio. Okay, now it works, right? I got external, I got that as the input. Now, just to show you, I have Ableton, and I recorded in this. This is what this is right here. I'll show you in just a second. Let me just play it. This is a track I was working on. So I recorded it and made a loop. So I want to know what the BPM is. It's 100. So I'm going to go here and go ahead and set that to 100. And the reason is because if I want to time stretch it, it'll be right on point where it needs to be. So that the loop for some reason when I put time stretch on, you see it distinctively changes the sound. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do this. I'm going to double up and put an 8 bar here. And then I'm going to click once. I don't need to click that many times. And extend it out the whole way. It would be nice to get something in here, not that I expect it, but something in here where we could, if you just want to extend a long one, like you click and then maybe you could right click and then extend to the end of the thing so I don't have to drag it all the time. Sometimes you do want to drag it, but right now I'm just trying to get it in there quickly. Okay. All right, sample. So now I can take the loop off now because I'm going to create a loop. So I want it to be perfectly on. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit edit, resample the loop, and there it is resampled. Now you can see the volume is totally different from what I recorded in. So I'm not sure why that happens. It loses some of the, but it still sounds fairly good. Maybe it could be, let's see, settings. I am doing 24-bit too, which is the same thing. So yeah, I'm not sure why it loses volume. I'm not going to stress that right now. I mean, you can always, I've shown this in the past, you can always mix it and get the volume where you want it. You get the point. So here now we have a perfect loop. There it is. Okay, so why is this cool? Well, it's because Koala is a sampler, right? And the idea is you want to sample into it something. That's what it's known for. Of course, you can do other things in Koala. It's not limited just to the sample portion of it. It could act as a drum machine technically, especially having note repeat and different features like that in it. But let's say I'm on desktop, assuming, or let's say you're not on desktop, you could be on your phone. You can have your iPhone hooked here, as you guys saw in the settings here, that I can use. Well, it's not on this one because I don't have it connected, but I can use an iPhone, or even with LoopBack, I can send it to LoopBack, right? Send the output to it, and then just record in. So what I'm going to do is just do a demonstration of another thing I like LoopBack for, and I use it, and I've shown this before, but I'm going to do it with Koala. So you can see here I have Pigments open. I have the output routed there. Now there's a problem if I touch one of the keys. Koala is mapped to this keyboard. So I have to go in and figure out a way to disconnect that MIDI so that it's not playing all MIDI channels. Maybe it only plays channel 16. Use built-in map and enable. Let's see if I do that, if it's, yeah, so if I change from all, you'll notice that I just put it on whatever channel you want to put it on, that it's not going to trigger a pad. So LoopBack's open. It's all set in place. Pigments is open. I'm going to find a sample that I like. Let's see. Just play some simple chords of some sort. So let's say I wanted to do that. I just click there. Now it's gonna pick my voice up because I have the mic on too. See? So what I'm gonna do is just go in so you don't have to listen to me. Of course, it's picking up the clicks of my keyboard. So if you don't want that in, a simple way to do this would be just go into to here and turn off the microphone. So I'm gonna do that for a second, and I'll just play something and then get back to you. Okay, so there you go. Time stretch it if you want. Now, I didn't play to a click, so this stuff looks like it's way off. But the good thing about Koala is if you've used it before and you know, is that you have auto chop. So you could do equal or however you want to do it. And you could chop the pieces if you wanted to. The other option I would say that I would use is lazy chop in a situation maybe like this, where you want to specifically chop that chop was off. That's fine. Okay, so then you maybe want to put them in some type of choke group. Maybe I'd probably say keep the original. That's how I would do. Adjust your chops here as much as you can, so you don't have as much work to do when you get into the click here, you can check them. Sounds good to me. We're gonna do chop, and there you go. Now if you don't have to have SP, you can just use your fingers on the Koala. But if you do have, let's say the SP and you're in this mode, all your chops should be available for you to play. So that chop is there. But now, remember, when you change the MIDI, you got to go back and fix it, because now that's the only caveat, I guess you'd say, is that if you don't have on all, then you can't control it. So now you're here. I just changed the MIDI back to all. If you don't want the gate on, take the gate off, and then it'll one-shot whatever sample you did. Some people don't want that. I'm gonna leave the gate on, so I can control how long it plays. Particularly on melodic or chords and things of that nature, or anything where I want to have more control with less. I don't want to just plan all the way through. So now you could take maybe this one, maybe set it to 4 or whatever you want to, or maybe even 8 if you wanted it there. There you go. Adjust whatever you need to adjust. And then go back and throw a beat over it if you wanted to. So you could get some drums. Let's see, I think I have some in here. Let's find some L.J. Drums Volume 4. I don't really want drum loops. I prefer, yeah, there we go, one shots. Drop one in there. Grab a hat. That'll work. And then grab a rim shot or a snare, depending on what you like. I like that one, that's fine with me. Let's set these to one shots. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna turn that down just a little bit. Using my SP to do the drumming so I can get the velocity portions. We're gonna pick pad number 2, hit record, turn the metronome on. One second while I stop this because I messed up. Yeah, I messed up big time on that. You also have to figure out how you want to play this. I didn't even think this through, but I'm gonna pick, go back to pattern select. I'm just gonna make this up real quick, make this faster than me playing it because I messed up. Do that. By the way, there's a quicker way to do this even, but I'm just on the computer, so I'm just doing it this way. Throw in some snares. And boom, boom, bam. All right. Go back to the beginning. I'm actually gonna not do that. I'm gonna go into sequence, and I'll use note repeat on here because note repeat is really good on here. So here we go. Hate that already. I'm very picky, obviously, on what I like. delete, boom. All right, I'm gonna use that one. That's fine. Here we go. Turn on the kick or thing. Now it's set to quantize. You could turn that off if you didn't want to. I would say do that before you record it, obviously, like I just did. And you can see it didn't record any of the velocities. That's because I'm in controller mode, but I actually forgot to turn that on. So that's on. That's a user error right there by not turning that MIDI enable MIDI velocity, which you can do in the SP. You can just turn it on in the SP and it'll use it. Okay, so there you go. If you wanted to, you could say, all right, I'm going to redo all the drums. Maybe even redo the snares, whatever. Yeah, let's just redo at least the kicks. I like to have some variation in that personally. By the way, the delete, some of the features work on the keyboard. I'm using my keyboard to press delete. I'm not even deleting it on Koala here, which is kind of nice in the Mac version because it is a pain in the butt if I had to go in there and manually and had to do it on here. All right, here we go. There you go. Now you can see the various velocities here. So there's not everything super 100. These I'll probably do them manually. Just turn them down a little bit. Just because. So that's a little quick thing, just showing you how you can plug in some chords or use instruments rather with LoopBack right into Koala on desktop. If you're on the iPad, obviously just record. You probably want to record the same way out to the Koala. If you can plug your iPad in, and I've done it before. I don't have the cameras to show you everything, unfortunately, but if you just plug in, you guys can see right here on LoopBack, it's pretty clear. I've used the iPad on it before. And then iPad also can be a monitor device when it's plugged in. Let me see if I can show you that, because why not? Let me see. Do I have... I'm going to have to unplug the MIDI controller. So just give me a second here, because I only have so many spaces to do everything on my MacBook. So I'm going to plug in this. Turn this on. I'm going to open Koala. Go to settings. Unfortunately, you can't see this, but I'm just opening Koala. And then I got to enable the iPad, right? So I got to tell it with this to enable the iPad Air. Cool. Now it's enabled. See, it's right there. So now it should be able to see the iPad, which it does. So I could play in via the iPad if I wanted to. And I should be able, I may be wrong on this part, but I should be able to monitor via the iPad. Let's see if it, when we open up the audio MIDI here, it's, oh, you know what? It's 2 ins and no outs. That's weird. I'm not used to that because I thought it definitely did outs. So maybe I can only go out from the iPad. I thought, or in rather from the iPad. I thought you could go out from it. I may be overthinking this and maybe something I'm missing, so don't quote me on it. But at current state right now, it looks like I can't. LoopBack would help if it would, but I think LoopBack can only do what it is, what's available with that device. So the iPad plugged in via like this does not have an input. But I will say this, I have recorded to the iPad using instruments from here. So you have to have some type of audio interface to do that, because the iPad apparently doesn't have any outs, unless there's something I don't know about. But and anybody, feel free to help me in the comments if you know of a way to I'm looking at the audio and the sounds on here. If iPad does have it, which would be cool, let me know if you know how we could show a monitor. I don't want to add another channel. What am I doing? But I can see right here there's nothing as of current on this right here. And let's see, does Koala picking up sound from it? Nope. It's just picking up standard. All right, so what if let's try, I'm gonna do one more thing and then you can't see this, but I'm just gonna go on AUM and see if I do this, if I can bring sound in from the computer. No, see, it looks like it's only the microphone on here. So that's an Apple thing, has nothing to do with, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the iPad now. It has nothing to do with MacBook or LoopBack or any of that. It's just Apple doesn't have the ability to record directly in, apparently, without having some type of, and I have the iPad Air M5, the latest Air version that they have. So that's not an issue there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the iPhone can be done. I'm not 100% sure on that, can be monitored in. But I know I have the latest iPhone too, so I mean, it should be able, we'd see. But anywho, that's it for this video. Just wanted to show you one way to use Koala on desktop and use your instruments without even having to go into like a Ableton or FL Studio or whatever you have on there, just using Pigments or whatever sound devices you have. I mean, if you have the Analog Lab Pro and you have maybe Pigments and the Mini Freak one they offer, you got quite a bit. You can do a lot of good songs and stuff creating into Koala, just using it here. If you like a simple sampler / sequencer, because this is really simple in my opinion. It don't get much simpler than this, and you could do some incredible stuff. And the MacBook version currently at the time of filming this is free, so that's kind of nice, right? You better have it. So anyway, I'm gonna end it here. If you got any thoughts, questions, please drop them in the comments. Please smash the like for me, help me out. I'm trying to grow a little bit as time goes, and hopefully I can show you more stuff as I grow, right? And you'll grow with me too. All right, that's it for this video.